Um, I think the right English word is naivety. Was very naive in the second half. You're 2-1 down. You get a good goal back in the first half. Um, we're chasing, obviously, but it's the moment where we should have had maybe the second goal scored, the one with Julian Fernandez on the bar, and we get done in a transition, which also is the case for the fourth and the fifth goal. So that is based on being very naive in these moments. And I said to my guys also after the game, that is something I don't recognize in my team because normally we're very solid defensively, and these transitions were just handed over, and that's based on being very naive.
We'll go with Michael.
Pascal, it's Mike Ander from Blue City Radio.
Hi, Mike.
After the game, you were taking it in on the field. We've talked a lot about this being a young team. Do you think your team should take it in and learn from this experience in this moment?
Yeah, very much so. Something I also mentioned when we finished off in the dressing room just now. When I walked in January to start this project with my guys, one of the things that we mentioned is that we have to do better than the previous season. And if you look at it from an objective standpoint, that's what we did, reaching the final, having more points at the end of the season in the MLS. But to finish the season like this tells us also that we have a few more lessons to learn also, based on what I said to your colleague just now. In a game like this, with the players that we have, even though we're missing 3 key players, it shouldn't be as naive as what we showed tonight. So more lessons to learn, and time to rest now and full focus on next season, because we have to do better than this season again.
Christian?
Coach Christian Arnold with the New York Post.
Hey,
You're talking about sort of the naiveness. Do you almost look at a match like this, especially when you have such a young club, as almost a needed experience for them to be able to grow and to kind of get that experience on them to lose like this and say, this is what it takes. See that team over there. This is what it takes for them, for us to play like that. You have to play like that. Do you look at this and go, this is the experience they kind of need going forward?
It's one of the experiences, that's for sure. But other than that, even though we got hammered tonight with 5 goals that we conceded, the way we concede our goals tonight is so unlike us. I haven't seen that throughout the season. So don't know exactly what it is. Is it maybe a little pressure or whatever the case is? But we've dealt with these type of situations. But being that naive in how we concede our goals today, playing against a team like Miami, you will get punished. And it's going to be very hard to get yourself back into the game. But we did. We got back into the game. And after the break, it was still 2-1 and everything to fight for. But to open it up like we did is very naive.
Gentleman in the back.
Thank you. Coach, you talked about not recognizing aspects of your team and being naive. Inter Miami's won the last 3 playoff games by 4 goals. Is it just a matter of how good they're playing? Is that a big part of it as well? Or do you just chalk it up to mistakes you guys made along the way?
No. I should have started that with that during the press conference to congratulate also Miami, because they did a tremendous job in winning the game against us. But for me, being the coach of New York, I look at my own team, and the things I mentioned just now are from my perspective very true. Being very naive in these moments, not reading the moments. I'll take you back to the third goal. We have the moment with Fernandez that goes on the crossbar. The transition is made, and in that moment, we don't smell the danger on their half, but we do work our way back. So we sprint back and support each other, where we have an overload in and around the box. We play 7 against 5, which is perfect. And then once the ball is moved from right to left again, I see a few guys in the box just switch off. And that's when the touch is going back into the box and they finish the goal. And that is so unlike us, like I mentioned earlier. So that is something that we have to deal with. And during the off season, I'll do my homework And once we start in January, we start improving again.
The gentleman with the glasses in the second row.
Hi, Pascal. Just in terms of like the different look Miami have now with the way they set up, it's obviously different from a season and a half. We've seen Messi and Suarez together, and then they're playing in quite a different way.
Mm-hmm.
You set up quite well, and you know until that sort of 67th minute, it looked like you were frustrating Messi a little bit. I mean, what kind of questions do they ask differently? How do you have to adjust as an opposition coach to that?
That's a very interesting question. Obviously, we did our homework. We played their shape and their formation with the names in the second game in New York, and Suarez just came back from a suspension, but he got suspended again in the first round of the playoffs after that moment against Nashville. And you see the team Miami set up a little different, but also with different profiles. So if you go back to the first goal that we conceded, that is a moment where we lose possession on their half, we reset, we reorganize, but the runs that Silvetti and Allende make is something completely different than what they used to do. So we were prepared for that. But if you look at the moment itself, we are switched off. The moment is there. You see the body shape of Allende already trying to go in behind, and we respond way too late. And we get done, obviously. So we were prepared to play this type of play of Miami. And then once we got back into the game, you could see, like you mentioned, it's more in balance. One thing I showed my guys going into this game, when we played them in New York, we were helping people up and they were down. When there was a foul made, we were helping them up. So we were very kind and very polite. And we all know if you wear a pink jersey, it's sometimes very hard to make a physical contact with these guys. But respect is fine, but you can go too far. So in this moment, today, you see there's more challenges. There's more fighting spirit in certain moments. But then we don't get helped by the referee when we concede the second goal. Because we're in a conversation, there's debate in the middle, and he restarts the game without us being in a perfect shape. And you all saw that it took like 5 minutes or so for that whole rumble to settle. So that can be naive, but also those moments don't help. And still, we made a game out of it until what we discussed just now.